Hello, ladies. I apologize for my horrible background, but I am in the car for a little bit, and I thought that I would post a video to kind of help you with your exam taking process. Now, I know that you guys are all smart, and you can take exams, clearly, because you passed undergrad, and you know how to take those types of tests. But I wanted to give you a few reminders to help you with your final, because I know a majority of you are less than satisfied with your last exam score. So let's just take it from the top. First of all, Examity is a horrible, stress-inducing environment. I get that. I know. I'm sitting there with my pages of notes. I've pulled out my last 3 pages that I'm trying to shove into my brain while I'm sweating, praying that Examity is going to work. Now, you just need to try to take a deep breath and have faith in Examity. Now, they are really good about helping you if you get disconnected and reconnecting them with them very quickly. So try to take that stress component out of the picture. Do not wait until the last day at 2 o'clock to take your exam. Because if you do have trouble with Examity and your exam's about to close, then they can't help you. So try to take your exam before the last day, because if it has to be reset or you run out of time, it'll just be a lot easier. Second of all, when you have that huge 100 pages of information that you've typed out and you've gone through and you've highlighted and you've got it narrowed down to just a few pages, you're freaking out because you don't know those last few pages. That's not what you're supposed to do. Instead, I want you to be confident in what you do know. So if you had 100 pages of notes that you had typed up and written and you've gone through and highlighted and you're down to 3 or 4 pages, be confident in that 95% of the material that you know, not the last few pages that you still have, because you're already setting yourself up for failure, because you're like, I don't know these pages, I'm going to miss this information, something's not right. Instead of saying, oh my gosh, I know so much information already, I'm going to focus on what I do know, and then that information will help me answer the questions that I might not know. Okay, so try not to stress about Examity and try to focus on the information that you do know. All right. Then I want you to go through your exam, and I want you to take as much of the exam time as you can. Going through and biting at the questions, which just means you read them very quickly and you think you know what it's asking you, and then you pick an answer. That's not right. I'm a biter. I've always been a biter, and I was always a biter until I started studying for boards. And she said, you can't be a biter because you're going to pull out the information that you think's important, you're going to answer the question, and you're going to get it wrong. I'll never forget in one of my adult classes that I did that. I bit some of the main words out of the question. It was a question about anemia, and I automatically inserted pediatrics into the question because I'm a peds nurse. That's what I know. It's what I do. It's what I assume everything's asking me about. It wasn't asking about peds. It was asking about adults. And of course, the anemia is different in children and adults. So I missed the question because I inserted pediatrics when it's not about peds. It's about adults. So make sure you're not a biter. Make sure you read the whole question. And then if you are not 100% sure of the answer, skip it. Go through your whole exam and come back to it. Okay? Don't just bite. Read the whole question. Really pay attention to what it's asking you. Select the answer that you know to be right, and then move on. If you don't know the answer, you skip it, because chances are there might be another question later on that will help you to answer that question, okay? Then I want you, after you have read all the questions, read them, not just kind of bit off the main ideas, and you have answered all the questions, I want you to go back and go through all those questions one more time. And this time I want you to really pay attention to what the information is talking about, okay? Because after you turn in your exam and you get your 84%, which you will, you're then going to go back through your notes and you're going to highlight what the test was about. Did it have murmurs on it? I'm going to highlight murmurs. Did it have national standards? I'm going to highlight national standards, because you have a comprehensive final, not only in this course, but in your other courses and your boards. So then if you can go back through your notes and read over those highlights, pick a color you don't like. I hate orange. I don't highlight in orange. But after my exam, I'd go back through in orange and I'd highlight everything. And I'm like, oh my gosh, out of all of these pages of information, these were the main topics that I was asked about. That way you can go back and you can review those areas. If you're confident in those areas, fine. Don't worry about it. Don't spend extra time on it. But if you're not confident in those areas, then those are the areas that you need to go back and spend more time on. I know that you guys know how to take tests, but I also know that we're in the middle of a pandemic. We're down to crunch time. You have one exam left in the semester, and you have to take it through Examity. I know, I get it. It's super stressful. Make sure that there's no other distractions in your home when you are taking a test with Examity. I would kick everybody out. My husband, the dog, the kids, my phone would be completely far away. I didn't want anybody to bother me. You cannot have any distractions when you're taking these exams. This is a lot of money that you're investing into this, and I want to make sure that you are spending as much time taking the exam as you are studying for the exam. Don't rush through it. Don't think that the information is going to escape if you take more time. You should be taking as long as time as possible. I can tell you, when I went to take my boards, I was the last person sitting in there. And I even went to the bathroom before I hit the submit button. I just wanted to make sure that I had done everything I can to pass. You spent too much time and too much energy and too much money. So I hope that this gives you some tips that you might not have thought about when you took your second exam that will help you be more successful on the final. If you have any questions, please ask me. Again, I don't know the information that's on your exams. That's not what's important for me. What's important for me is to help you study better so you can extract the information that you need to when the exam time comes. Okay, so just be confident in what you know. Make sure you're not biting at the questions. Make sure you're reading the whole thing. Make sure you're not inserting words or deleting important words. And make sure you're taking your time. I think you'll have better results with your third exam. All right, let me know if you have any questions. Have a good day. Bye.